is by not judging myself
Mm-hmm.
and just do it. Whatever it is, do it. Write this thing and do it.
Lost myself, floating into.
Welcome to the Musician Secrets podcast. Today I have Aurelien with me. Did I pronounce that okay?
Hello, that's right. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, you play a bunch of instruments. You're a singer-songwriter. You're a producer. For people that don't know you, just introduce yourself real quick. What got you into music? Where are you from? Obviously, the name gives it away, but walk
Yeah.
us through your process.
So my name is Aurelien and I'm French and I come from Nice. I was born in Nice, France. And I studied music when I was 8 years old. And I think the why I studied music is because I saw live musician playing.
Right.
And this was like, for me, it was incredible to see live musicians. In Nice, I think my mom she told me she took me to see Dizzy Gillespie when I was 5 years old at the Nice Jazz Festival. And
Wow.
at that time, the Nice Jazz Festival was free. So you can just go there, and Dizzy Gillespie was playing in a mall called Cap 3000 in Nice. And apparently she took me there. And maybe I don't remember that, but maybe it did something to me. But I always love to see live musicians. And also when I was going in the summer into my ancestor village, so it's an hour from Nice in the mountains, and in the village there is always a ball in the summertime. It's the party in the village, and for 4 days there is a band coming and people dancing. And as a kid, I always loved to see the band set up and start doing the sound check and rehearsing. And then the night, of course, I was there and I could hear them play and see musicians live. And I guess that's how I started. And I mean, that's how I got intrigued. And then also my neighbor in Nice, which he was a year older than me, so I was 7 at the time and he was 8 years old, started playing drums, and I was hearing him playing drums. I was like, oh, I want to do this. And I chose, and my parents asked me, I asked my parents if I could play the drums, and then they said yes, and slowly they bought. So I took a bit of lessons, and then I went to my friend, my neighbor, and I played on his drum set, and he stopped playing, and I continued on, and my parents got me slowly a drum set. I didn't get a drum set right away. I had to wait, which was a good thing because it made me want to also to have the instrument. And then I got my instruments, and I always played. I was in a building. It was not easy for the neighbors, and not for me, because I always wanted to practice after school. This is something that I really like to do, and I like to play the drums. And so I practiced, but after 15 minutes, my neighbor came and rang at the door and told me to stop. It was a bit frustrating sometimes for me, because I could not play as much as I wanted, but that's how I started. Maybe also this limitation kind of helped me just like nurture this how can I say? Yeah, just wanting to go further. And then when I was 15 years old, my brother met a musician that was working in a discotheque, not a disco where you dance, but where you borrow CDs. So I'm talking about the 90s there. I was 15 years old. And I'm 45 actually now. This guy was a musician and was working at the discotheque, and he was really knowledgeable about music, and he had a band, and they were looking for a drummer. And my brother told him that his brother was a drummer. So that's when I actually auditioned for that band, and I got into my first band when I was 15 years old. And then that is really when I knew I wanted to be a musician. I did my first concert. It was beautiful. And I think it was an amazing experience for me. And also what was interesting is I was playing with people that were older than me. And it was very interesting for me and special. And so then I just I could not stop. And then after that, I just continued playing with this band, and then this band stopped, and then another one came, and then another one, and another one. And then at the age of 23, once I've toured a bit the south of France, and I did a lot of different bands. I got the chance to go to the States. I met a girl. She was American, and I joined her in the States. And then I moved out of France, and I went to the States in 1999, and I moved there. And I started working in the States, especially in Las Vegas, because she was a dancer and she was working there. And so I worked as a drummer in Las Vegas. In lounges, I did a couple of shows. I played some blues lounge, had gigs at 2 in the morning until 5 in the morning. Like it was another life. It's when I think about it now, it's like, wow, this was not even a chapter of my life. It was another book, It was really interesting. And then I did play a lot. I played a lot as a drummer, and I learned a lot. And then Blue Man actually came in Vegas in 2000. And I remember seeing the show. I was invited by a friend of mine that knew someone there, and I was invited to see the show, and I loved it. And 3 years later, I auditioned for it. I wanted to do something else. And I auditioned for it, and I got the job at Blue Man. And this was really different because then I got into a theater company, and I got into theater, which is a very different, it's a different environment, and the people I worked with, it's just a different mentality. And I really enjoyed it. And also it was a nice, a bit more of a steadier job also. And it was a great opening for me, a mind-blowing opening that came into my life. And then that's when I start hearing about creativity, and also a very different way to perform.
For sure, yeah.
I'm not a drummer anymore, but I'm a Blue Man. It's a very different thing. It's like playing a character, but he plays music. He's also a drummer, but he plays music, but he's a character too. So I had to learn a totally different thing. I was on another planet pretty much. And then I went, so I did the show in the States, and then I went to London. I did the show there, and then London closed, and I came into Berlin, where I did the show here in Berlin for many years now. And after a while doing Blue Man, which is a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful show. I think I wanted to do something on my own, and I started working on. Studied composition a bit. I studied piano, and I knew how to play bass a bit, and I did a bit of electronic music. And then one day I picked up a guitar and I learned a couple Beatles songs, and it kind of opened. I love the guitar. It's such a simple, for me, it was an organic way to get it into, how can I say that? To get out of my mind and just play music without knowing, pretty much. And then it also another opening for me, and I started writing songs on the guitar. For me, it came naturally, and I'm really limited when it comes to play guitar. I know couple chords. Yes, I forgot to mention that I was with a band called Kairobi, and we did pretty well, actually. We toured a lot in England and in the States, and we released an EP and an album, and it was doing pretty well. Unfortunately, the band broke up, and after that, that's when I wanted to do something like, okay, I want to do something. I need to write my own songs, and I need to do a project on my own, because I need to lead this. I cannot support someone else's vision. I need to do my own thing. And then that's when I started to take the guitar and just write songs. And also I let myself do it. That has a lot to do with self-judgment. And to me, to write song and sing was impossible, was something that wasn't for me, but I had a secret desire of doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, like, for me, it was really deep, like, I want to do this. This is really what I want to do. I want to write my own songs and write my own music and perform it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, the only way I can do that, and someone helped me also discover that, is by not judging myself and just do it. Whatever it is, do it. Write this thing and do it. And I also, I learned, of course, you learn from life experience and from other musicians, but I remember going with a friend of mine to the studio, and he wanted to write a song in French. He's pretty famous in Germany. His name is Tim Neuhaus.
Tim Neuhaus?
Yeah. And he's a singer-songwriter, but he's also a drummer at Blue Man Group.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and right at the moment where I was
crazy.
Right at the moment I wanted to I started playing guitar a bit and learning these Beatles songs. He asked me, hey, can we meet, and I would like to write a song in French. And I said, yes, of course, yes, let's do it. And so he had an idea about what he wanted to say and what he wanted to talk about. And we met in my studio, which was Kairobi studio, my old band studio, but I took over. And then I saw his process of writing, and he was really humble and very childlike, very innocent, very like non-judgmental. And that taught me a lot, to see him just like approach this like very, very simple, like, okay, like let's write something. What do we want to talk about? I want to talk about this and that. And me, I would have judged right away, like, you know, myself, like, oh, you know, saying that, but you know, it doesn't make sense. You know, I would have been judgmental already. No, you know, it doesn't mean that you can correct afterwards or change things around, but it taught me a lot about how, you know, like about myself about how much I was judging myself.
Mm-hmm.
And once I stopped doing this,
Mm-hmm.
I could start writing. And actually, I felt like I was like, I can write songs. I can actually write cool songs, you know.
Yeah.
Once I stopped like judging, it's cool what I do, what I can do. So, and at the same time, also, I started meditation, and I read a book by a Vietnamese monk called Thich Nhat Hanh.
Mm-hmm.
And this book is called Fear, you know, and it's talking about fear, about human fear, like basic feeling that we have.
Yeah.
And it's also really helped me a lot to understand myself and understand that a lot of what was blocking me was fear of being judged by others.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not saying that I'm completely free of it. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not there. But this is a process. And when you start something like this, it's kind of like almost a mini awakening. Yeah, that's right. I have fear of other people's judgment, but also I judge a lot other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to stop judging people. And this is like an exercise you can do to yourself, like every day, you know, like how do you judge? And when you judge, you're judging yourself, because we are mirrors, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
We are mirrors of our internal psyche. So then for me, it was an opening, and then I started this, and in 3 months, I wrote an album pretty much. I had like 12, 15 songs. I don't know how many songs I wrote.
Yeah.
You know, so the burst of creativity that, you know, came out of like this, stop judging yourself and do it, and have fun. You know, it needs to be playful.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I had a lot of skills before that as a musician. So that helped me a lot. It you know, things also crystallize in life, you know. You know, I have a lot of experience as a musician, and this kind of crystallized. So I was able to write my own song, but also produce them and record them on my own, because I'm really good at playing drums. I'm not really good at the guitar itself, but because I have a good sense of rhythm, then it's still okay. You know, I don't need to do any solos, you know, for my music. And so, and then I knew how to play bass. And so I had everything, you know, there. And I knew a bit about the technique that I learned with Skyroby, how to record things, and also the approach of it. It's like, do with what you have. Stop procrastination. Stop looking at thousands of instruments, of microphone, of preamps. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just do with what you have, and slowly maybe bring something like a new thing if you need. But you don't need a lot of technique. Now it's easy. Of course, you need a laptop, or you can even get a tape recorder. Like there's, you know, lo-fi sound, like people are recording on tape now again, and on cassette tapes, I mean. So that was also a big thing. Is like knowing to not procrastinate. Procrastinating is okay, a little bit, it's okay, but this we get caught in it because we are in a culture of consumption. We need to consume. And so this is the way for us to fill our void. Instead of doing something creative, we are consuming. Because we are missing doing something creative. So it's crazy, you know. And so it's something you want to do is like, stop it, take what you have and do with what you have. And limitation for creation are the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing you can have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to have too much choice.
Yeah.
You want to have like let's say 5 chords and one guitar and 2 mics and a pedal, and that's it, and maybe a drum, like one drum or something, and that's it.
Yeah.
You should be able to do something with that, you know.
Mm.
So this is the process. This is where I came from, and so I started writing songs very, very late. I'm 45 now, so 3 years ago I started.
Mm-hmm.
And also to not identify with age. That's also something that the society wants you to identify with age a lot. I'm a parent, I have kids, but I still make music, and I want, even if I don't make money with it, I wish I could. It's not easy to make money with music, because I of course I want to be able to continue to do that. But if I, you know, have my job at Blumen, I mean, right now, of course, with COVID, it's not possible, but even if Blumen stops, I'll find a job, and then I'll keep doing music anyway. So it's always there with you, you know. So, but so to not identify with age, it doesn't matter which age you are, and making music and being creative, this is something that can make you happy. It doesn't, of course, if you get, you know, recognition from people, it's great, you know, it's nice. It's nice to hear, but for that, you know, like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, you know, like, famous or not famous, the thing is, you need to just want to enjoy what you're doing. And also, it's a good thing when you create something. It's a beautiful feeling. When I have a new song, it's like, wow, so cool, it's so delicious, you know.
So, how did 3 South and Banana, first of all, how did that title come up, and then how was the writing process for, there are like 11 tracks in the album, so how did that come together?
Okay, so 3 South and Banana, so I needed a name, and then Salvador, which is K-Roby's keyboard player, and he produced also the album. He's a producer, and I'm working with him, and I started these songs, and I recorded in the studio, and I sent him the songs, and he really liked them. He said, wow, they're great, cool, let's do something. And so I was trying to find a name and start the project. And so, and in Kairobi, we always made fun of my accent, and with the TH and the S, and, you know, like my French accent when I speak English. And they were asking me to say 3,000 bananas, you know, like the number 3,000. And said, hey, Salvador said, hey, why not 3,000 bananas? You know, it's funny. And I was like, yeah, why not? And then it just came like 3 South and banana. And it doesn't mean anything. And maybe it's a way for me to be provocative. And to be a bit like, it's to be weird and quirky. In a way, it's you know, like, it's weird not to be weird. And to not take myself too seriously also. And at the same time, it sounds cool. It's weird and cool. And I had it was hard for me to accept it. And also, you know, like, if you start a brand, I'm not starting a brand, it's music. But if you start a brand and you're on social media, they tell you, don't use a number, don't use weird symbols like ends like this. And so I do everything wrong pretty much, you know, commercially, you know. So, but at the end of the day, I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's okay. And I like it, and I can do also another project with another name. Of course, it's, you know, it's you want to, I want to have fans, of course. I want to have fans. I want to be able to tour, because when you need fans to be able to go out and play live music, you know, like it's to do a tour and stuff, you know, like it's a whole industry and business also. So you have to think about that. But in a way, like, yeah, it's bold, and you you should be careful of thinking about business first, let's say. But you should just do what comes from inside, and then afterwards, even if it's a mistake, you can always do something else, you know. But so yeah, the band name, so it's more a way of not taking things too seriously, and yeah, the quirky, weird aspect of life also. And so the writing songs, you talk about the process of writing.
Yeah. Do you have a process, or is it different every time?
Yeah. No, it's not completely different. My process is, I have the guitar. It comes with the guitar and singing. And before I go to the studio, there is a song. So I don't go in the studio and I go on the computer and record and arrange and make a song like this. Some people can do that. Personally, I can't. It needs to have a flow. And the studio, I really use it just to record. Yeah, I don't use it as a composing tool, let's say. Not for this project.
Yeah.
But so it comes, and I take the guitar, and I'm at home, and usually need to be quiet, and I need to feel inspired, and I have lyrics written. So I write, you know, first some lyrics, and I take the guitar and I jam around, and there is a couple chords that comes, and I like that. Oh, I like that, and I don't know really what it is, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I know, if I look at it after, I know what's going on, but because I studied music, and but I want to get away from the mind.
Yeah.
You know? The thing is to access the flow, or let's say the unconscious, or even maybe the higher self, or whatever you want to call it, you know. Or you don't want to work with the mind. I mean, yes and no. It's a balancing act between mind and no mind, you know. But the melodies, and usually the changes on the guitar, they come out of no mind. They're not thought. I don't think about it. So it's I learned drums instinctively, and then after I learned the techniques, and I learned to read a bit. I can read music. I'm not really good, but it's the ear, you know, like you just play a chord, and you hear another chord, and then you hear a melody, and then there is words, and then you just fit them somehow. So yeah, usually it's kind of magical. It just comes, boom, and it's there, you know. And then so some songs, they come like this, boom. They take 2 hours to write, but some songs, they're almost there, but then I let them aside, and then I go back to them, and it takes more time. It takes more time. Then the mind comes in, and also like it doesn't really work exactly the way, and then you can change stuff. Then there is a process of composition, which is more of a mind,
more of a mind thing.
Of techniques, and you know. But the initial melodies, they come from I don't know where. They just come.
You said you had, because you have a live, you're preparing for a live session, right? So you said you have your setup. Can we look at it real quick?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Show what you do?
I'm at home. I'm in my room. So I will turn the camera. So yeah, see, there's my guitar here. So I really like this old. I have an old Yamaha guitar that I've got like that has.
Percussion, using it for percussion.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's I got it a year and a half ago. Kind of saved it. It was in a bad shape, and yeah, it was in a weird place also. And someone was selling it, and the person was a bit weird. And then I feel like I saved it. So it sounds great. I love it. I'm a big fan of Brazilian music. And, I love George Benjo, for example, and he plays acoustic guitar. So
cool.
This was my inspiration. Instead of I had a folk guitar. Folk guitar, but this is it's different to play, of course, but it's really inspiring and very warm. And then I have my electric guitar there. This is an aria from I think it's from the 60s, the end of the 60s. Really nice tone. And so this is my room. And then I'm doing a live show, a live stream show. But so for my live show, I came up with another artist called Tartaruga Feliz. She helped me put this thing together, and then after I did it on my own, I use projection. So I can show you really fast how it works actually.
Yes, please.
So I use an audio interface.
Yes.
This is the one I record with. And let me show you. So pretty much the concept is that I wanted to play this show solo. Yeah. So without a band, but also want to play with the band. And so no, but I was trying to, because I'm going to turn the camera again. You know, a friend of mine was telling me, you have to be able to do some solo gigs, because it's really, I know I've toured with bands, and it's complicated to have everybody on the same place and wanted to, work on something you don't make money, and it's complicated. And so my friend Tartaruga Feliz, she told me she saw a guy doing some projection. So he filmed himself and recorded himself on the drums or on the percussion. I don't know exactly what it was. And then projected that and then play over that. And so that's the idea that I took on. Yeah. And then I made it nice with some visual also, because I love cinema since I'm a kid. And I think it's a good, and this is where the influence of Blue Man comes in, is because I'm not thinking just in terms of like a rock band, but in terms of a show, of a more immersive, of an experience, of a performance. It's a performance. It's like this weird cinema / rock concert. Like it's someone said cinema pop, and I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to show you how it works, and I'm going to turn the camera. Yes. And we can start the show. So pretty much I got myself a projector, which I use for my own private also. I love to watch movies, Yeah. And I'm going to turn off the light. I'm going to wait until it's turning on. And then put a bit of sound.
So your projector is plugged into your laptop with the interface and the pedals. Is that what's happening?
Exactly. So So what's going on is like my guitar is going to the audio interface and my voice.
Yeah.
And then it's mixed inside the computer, you know, like virtually.
Yeah.
See there, virtually have a mixer. And then the backing track of the video is played from Ableton.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm mixing, it's actually if I played live with backing track, except when you have a video with a musician playing, it's like an illusion, you know. You remove, like, if I was doing the same thing but without the video, it would not have the same impact, you know, because it would simply be another musician that plays over a backing track. Yeah. You know, which is okay. You know, I've seen a lot of musicians do that because it's hard to play with bands. I mean, I have to say, my brother is a sound engineer and he worked with 9 Inch Nails. And 9 Inch Nails are using 2 Pro Tools and half of the show is backing track.
Wow.
Yes. So, you know, it doesn't, looks like I cannot get yes, of course, wait. It's not plugged in, I need to plug in my, so plug in thing, sorry, it takes a little time. All right, should be there. And action, yes. Okay, now I'm going to turn off the light. So I'm going to open the session that I have. I actually had to redo all. You know, like when you have an idea like this, it's also doing it. It's something else. You know, and it's a lot of technique. And yeah, I mean, you know, you can say, yeah, I can do this, but doing it, it's a lot of work.
Ball game, yeah, it's completely
different. Yeah, it's like, so I'm always confronted with technical things. You know, it's not easy. The show is not easy. When I'm doing a live show, it's like I'm always like
nervous.
You have to be super focused. Yeah, because I'm relying a lot on technique. But then when it works, it always worked, and when it works, it's really, really cool. Actually, it's really, really fun. So I'm opening the session now, and actually, yesterday to do this live stream, I opened the session and it wasn't working. Oh, no. So I had to redo. The sessions I had were corrupt. I don't know why. I think Ableton also is not super stable right now on my computer. I don't know why also. So it's an old version of Ableton. I think that's maybe why.
Oh no, that's horrible. So you have to redo the entire thing.
So with I have also a MIDI controller that's plugged to this, and then I start the show like this. So I play, and I play, for example. That's it, you know, like this is an introduction. And then now you see the projection. And pretty much I'm placing, this is like a friend of mine did that for me. the opening of the show. And then I'm there and I'm in front, pretty much I'm in front with the microphone and my guitar. And then I start the show and then you have this. So I film myself, and of course everything that I played is recorded in my studio, and then you can hear it.
Wow.
Okay, and then so I play guitar and I sing over this. Okay, that's how it works. And then I have all my songs, so I'll trigger them with this. And then there's another one there. Yeah, that's it. And then for example.
So you have all of your songs are basically you've got them all in your MIDI controller. Is that?
No, the MIDI controller is controlling Ableton, and all the songs are in Ableton here. So that's the backing track.
Oh, okay.
That's the backing track there, and here's the video track.
Uh-huh.
And then,
Oh, so you have the video in Ableton too.
Yes. So yeah, exactly.
Okay, now it makes
So
sense.
this was like a little trick.
Mm-hmm.
This was a trick because Ableton is not made for video. He
Yeah,
can read video. He can read video because people are using it to compose, to make music for film and stuff like this. So it has this function, but it's not made for that. It's not a VJ application. And I didn't have a VJ application, and I had Ableton. I was like, I need to do it with what I have. And Ableton can read video. So then I found a hack. The hack is simple. It's just I use I don't know, it's called a marker. A marker, and you can mini map the marker in Ableton. So they are mini map to this thing, you know, like. So this is like also creativity. This is where you need to also being creative. Is how you make thing like a show work. Mm-hmm. What you want to do. What is almost it's almost like a little art exhibition, you know.
Yeah. Wow, I really want to see you live now. I want to see you perform that once the entire COVID is over. I want to see it.
Yeah, so so it works. You know, so I'm in front of it like this, and I play in front. Yeah, people are. It really works live. It's really cool. People really love it because it's kind of funny. Yeah. So, for example, I have tracks like this where I do a duo. So this one, for example. So I'm on the guitar there. Mm-hmm. You see, and I play guitar there.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's cool.
You understand? So I play a duo, you know, and I have another one where I edited a James Brown concert. So I play with his drummer called Clyde Stubblefield, you know.
No way.
Yeah. So you can hear, you know, like. So I found this. I found this on YouTube, and I just, you know, I cut this movie. To feed my song, I played the bass line. Yeah. And then, so that's how it works.
Wow. Wow, I'm impressed. That's bringing creativity to a whole new level, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, it's also, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. So I had the necessity to play my music live, and I wanted to do something different and weird and cool. Yeah. And this was a way to do it, you know. Some people do it with looper pedals or some electronics on stage, and I did it like this.
That's very cool. Thank you for your time. It's been
an
absolute pleasure. You said you had a few projects coming up, right? That you wanted to tease, or?
Yes, I mean, I have a new song coming up called "The Fool the World," coming up in April. Certainly, I'm not sure, but and then I have some more songs that I will be releasing, and maybe new. I'm adding song on the live show, and hopefully I'll do more live shows also.
Yes, I hope so.
And any support is good. I mean, it's really rough, you know, like to get out there and people to get to know you also. Yeah. You know, it's super rough. I don't know if you are a musician. I think you are a musician yourself, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes.
Any like support, like with following and likes, and that really helps artists to get out there, you know, because it works like this now, you know.
Yeah. So where can people find you?
Yeah, so people can find me everywhere. Yeah. It's just that they have to know the name, you know, 3 South and Banana, and they can find me everywhere. So when you go on Spotify and you see and you like it, just follow it, or, you know, like click on the heart and stuff like this, like always help. And I'm on YouTube also. I do a bunch of live sessions too from my studio, which are pretty fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's it. I'm pretty much everywhere. On Instagram, I'm active on Instagram. I have Facebook and Twitter, but I'm not active on that. It's just in case people need to reach me through these platforms.
Yeah.
But I'm just active on Instagram. Sometimes, of course, if I have an event, I will do it on Facebook. But Instagrams and YouTube, I post some stuff, and then after I'm on all the streaming platforms. So yeah, that's how you can reach me.
Perfect. I'll link everything up as well, so people will definitely find you and be able to follow you and like your stuff and watch your videos and give you all the support. Thank you so much for being on here and taking so much time.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Of course.
And maybe we meet in person one day.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Bye.
Cool. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you for listening to the Musician's Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Alise Koa. I hope you got to learn something new about producing or songwriting or mental health when it comes to making music, the fears that most musicians have when making music. So everything that's behind the scenes, behind making music, you will learn it here, because I am basically talking to anyone that makes music all around the world. So I have a great privilege to learn all of that, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So follow this podcast if you enjoyed what you heard today, and go and share it with somebody that you think could enjoy this episode as well, benefit and learn from it. And as always, there's more information at alisekoa.com/podcast. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Blah 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 blah.